Imagine that you are a young woman who has been broken. At a young age, you left home and soon found yourself in an abusive relationship. Now, after just a few weeks of living with your boyfriend, you find out that you're pregnant. Instead of feeling hopeless like many girls in your situation, you are overjoyed at the prospect of having a family of your own. And you look forward to giving your child the love that you have never experienced for yourself. But then one day, your dreams collapse when your boyfriend tells you that he's scheduled an appointment for you to have an abortion. You want this child more than anything, but after your boyfriend wears you down through insults and degradation, you agree to the appointment. You figure that the nurses will sympathize and assist you in keeping your child despite your boyfriend's wishes. By the time you realize that even they won't help you, it is too late to escape, and you are injected with a sedative before you can put up a fight. You later wake up to find that the child who you desired and loved is no longer inside of you. They killed him, and you'll bear the scars of their choices forever. This story may sound exaggerated or even invented, but this is a true story which took place in Phoenix, Arizona, to a woman named Toni McKinley. It is only one of the stories that we never hear about women who are left as vulnerable and with as little choice as their unborn children. The pressure to abort is something that 64% of post-abortive women have experienced, according to a 2010 study from the Elliott Institute. However, even though not all of these stories involve physically forced abortions, there are an equal number of stories in which women are forced either mentally or emotionally, with the most frequent instigators being the father of the child, family members, and clinic counselors. As in Toni's story, the father of the child is commonly the main catalyst in forced abortion cases. I find it truly sickening that the one who is supposed to love and protect a mother the most is the person who too often plays a role in manipulating and coercing her. In fact, up to 1/2 of women in abusive relationships will experience reproductive coercion, and it's been discovered that abortion is used as a tool by the abuser. In the words of Lisa James, the health director of the Family Violence Prevention Fund, quote, "This is much less about the desire to be a father than it is about coercion and control. It's about making him tied to her so she will always have a permanent connection to him," end quote. When family members are involved, it is usually the girl's parents who take it upon themselves to get rid of the mistake that their daughter has created. One such story was told on Operation Rescue's website by a young woman who I'm going to call Tanya. Upon learning of her pregnancy, Tanya's parents responded only with verbal abuse and threats of violence, and her father even threatened to take care of it if she did not. And so, with nowhere to run, she allowed her parents to drive her to an abortion clinic in Wichita, Kansas. Since her mother was with her at all times, Tanya was not allowed to communicate her situation to anyone, not even the clinic counselors. When she was finally able to talk to a nurse, it was in the operating room, where it was made clear that no help would be offered. Tanya was helpless, as the child that she wanted and loved was suctioned out with a vacuum. Another battlefield for forced abortion occurs in the counseling session before the procedure. Pre-abortion counseling is legally required in 38 of our United States, and at face value, counseling sessions sound like an effective way to prevent abortions and help women to make informed decisions. But women who have actually gone through that process will say otherwise. One woman named Mary explained how at age 23, she was in an emotionally and physically abusive relationship when she learned of her pregnancy. With her boyfriend offering no alternative to abortion, Mary was hopeful going into the counseling session. She said, quote, "I knew it was impossible for me to stand up to my boyfriend on my own, but I thought that this counselor could support me and perhaps help him see reason. Instead, she sided with him," end quote. To further prove this point, a former office manager of an abortion clinic in Texas confirmed that, quote, "If a woman we were counseling expressed doubts about having an abortion, we would say whatever was necessary. to persuade her to abort immediately, end quote. These counselors are every bit as responsible as parents, boyfriends, and husbands for the forced abortion epidemic in our country today. In light of everything that I've discussed, I would like to pose a question to pro-choice advocates. If you're so adamant on a woman's right to choose, then where are the choices for women like Tanya when threats from abusive parents give them nowhere to run? Where are the choices for women like Mary when their boyfriends and the clinic counselors close the deal for an abortion that they don't even want? And where are the choices for women like Tony, who search for an escape but are instead physically forced to go through the procedure? Those are not choices. The media has led us to believe that all women who have abortions make the decision of their own free will, and pro-choice advocates are all too happy to affirm that belief. But all of the suffering that a woman faces as the result of a forced abortion is because of a choice that someone else made for her. Choosing life is an option that Tony, Tanya, and Mary were not given, and one that 64% of post-abortive women felt unable to make. But there is something that we can do to give that choice to other women in similar situations. I know this because of a study that was performed on 252 women who suffered psychological symptoms after an abortion. Among them, 83% stated that they would have kept the child if only one person had offered them support. That is precisely what you and I can do. Be that one person. Because it is not just unborn children, but their mothers who deserve the chance to choose life. Thank you.